I'm not sure how this is going to go tonight, but I can tell you I had way too much and had to cut back and go another direction. And so probably going to get another maybe marriage sermon down the road. But tonight, as I had put on the calendar, would wives wish their husbands knew? So you husbands, I'm glad you're here. And you wives, your husband's not here, well, make sure he listens to this, okay? So, now they took a survey, husbands and wives. How happy is your marriage? So the husbands described the happiest mark on the scale. The wives, surprisingly, hit the very unhappy part of the scale. And that's something that is just so husband and wife. And what we know is that God alone is the one that wrote the manual. He's the only one that could have. Since he made Adam and Eve, he's the only one that could write the manual to show how it's supposed to work. And so let's look at Ephesians chapter 5. And this is out of the King James Version, so it's a little weird kind of writing, but let's go ahead and read. Husbands, love your wives, even as Christ also loved the church, gave himself for it, that he might sanctify and cleanse it with the washing of water by the word, that he might present to himself a glorious church, no spot, no wrinkle, or any such thing, but that he should be holy, it should be holy and without blemish. So ought men to love their wives as their own bodies. He that loves his wife loves himself. For no man ever hated his own flesh, but nourished it, cherishes it, even as the Lord did the church. So there's the imagery of marriage. Christ and the church. And again, we're talking about the universal church worldwide, the people of God, the born-agains that just love God. And so, well, why we came to God is because he first came to us and loved us and surprised us that he loved us and was willing to forgive us. And so he said, I'm in. If you want this relationship, let's do it. And so I want to preach about husbands and wives. First of all, now this is off the cuff. You know, when I talk to marriages oftentimes, I somehow come around as I'm listening to the different problems that each of them have with each other. And, you know, I finally sometimes stop and say, you know what you need to understand first of all is you're very, very normal. And then I go, oh, this can't be. All women can't be like her. And no, they're certainly not like him. And no, they're very normal. Yeah, but he doesn't listen to me. Yeah, but she's like out of control, unreasonable, can't talk to her. Right? But these are normal. They're normal. And the reason for that is because husbands don't understand wives. And wives, they don't understand men better than we do them, but they still don't understand what makes us tick and so on. But I want to pick on the husbands tonight because most of the time, in fact, I'd say 90% of the time, husbands ruin the wife, ruin the marriage. And the beginnings are all gung-ho. The wives are so into it, and the husband's like, hey, we got married, we had a honeymoon, so what else do you want? And it's downhill from there. And so never in the Bible does it say, wives, love your husbands. Because they just do. Now, it does say, wives, respect your husbands. Often that they don't do. Oof, how they can cut them down to size. And no, but that's another sermon. But husbands, love your wives, the Bible says, as Christ loved the church. And that's an ongoing love. It's a word that really means that you just keep at her to win her. Now, sometimes we think after you've caught her, and now you're married, that the pursuit's over. No, not to the wife. That pursuit continues. You keep pursuing your wife. You keep loving her and going after her. And so, wives, the reason God tells husbands that is because wives, they just need to know that they are loved. They just need to know that. And what men don't know is that every wife often has just some deep personal doubts, very deep doubts. And, because she sees her husband where he's good with everyone else, but why can't he be good with me like that? He shows everybody else, he lights up and shows everybody else attention, but not with me. And so they got these deep doubts. Men, now we know that they need to feel secure, right? And they have a need for security. And we also know that, finances is part of that. But most women, and a lot of them just love to spend, and they can spend, yet you'd be surprised how they would choose emotional security over financial security. Way above financial security. One woman said, if I know my husband is there for me, I can face any struggle financially. I appreciate his effort. He works hard. And I appreciate the cushion, the financial cushion, but not to the point that it hurts us. So what they need to know, they need this security that you're going to be there no matter what. No matter what. I need to know, this woman says, that he's not going anywhere, physically or emotionally. So they have this need, I should say this desire and longing for their husbands. And you remember what was said in Genesis when Eve ate the forbidden fruit first, and she was cursed, and God says, okay, you're going to bear children in sorrow. It's going to be painful. But then she adds to that, and your desire will be for your husband. Now, I know there's scholars that can, dissect that and flip it upside down and inside. What this really means is that a wife wants to control and be in control over her husband. Okay, well, that might be true. But let's take it at face value of what it says. Your desire is going to be for your husband. Well, why would that be a curse? How could that be a curse? Because when her desire is for her husband, but where's her husband? Where's he out there? Making the plants grow? Oh my gosh. What? Are you going to come in? And so that's the curse. Your desires for yourself. So they have no problem loving their husbands. But what they need is just to know that their husbands love them. They don't care about struggling with finances. In fact, if they do because the husband's backed off work to maybe spend more time with the wife or to enjoy life, well, that struggle, the women look at it in such a way as, hey, we're in this together. We're in it together. We'll make it work. Yeah. Newsflash. It's not always work less, more time with me. Really, it's not. It's work less, more time to just enjoy life. They actually want husbands to be happy. They really do. But she has an ongoing emotional battle. Like I said, he rarely spends time with me, one-on-one with me. He's always got time for the guys, but really time for me. Well, yeah, but Pastor, I can't figure out what she wants. Can't ever please her. It's never enough. Never enough. It's never enough. No matter what I do, never enough. So it's easier just to leave her on her own. She's always happy or mad anyway, so she just has to get over it. Just get over it. That sound familiar? In all the husbands' heads? Yep. We need to see some warning lights that there's a need that's not being met. Some warning lights when she gets upset about the dumbest thing. Warning light. She just might be insecure about her husband's love. For women, men, feelings are most important. Okay, don't shut me down. Don't shut me down. You've got to listen to this to the end because it's going to make sense. She doesn't feel loved. She's insecure about your love for her. Rather, if you really do love her, she doesn't feel loved. How her husband feels about her is often on her mind. You'd be surprised how often it's on her mind. And that feeling can be triggered, this relational insecurity, and it's extremely painful to a woman because they don't feel loved. It's extremely painful. And daily, she's almost looking for clues for, does he love me? Does he not love me? So, what happens again is, feelings are most important. And so sometimes she wants to express her what? Feelings. But this upsets the man. I don't care about your feelings. Look at the way things are. Look at the facts. Oh my gosh, you better listen. Because it's how women compute things. It's not what wives know to be logical. It's about the feelings that rise up. Let me say that again. It's not what they know that's logical, but their feelings are most important. If she doesn't feel loved, for her, it's exactly the same as if he doesn't love me. Because it's a feeling. Doesn't feel loved. Same thing. I'm not loved. And for a wife, husband, there's never this magic moment that brings closure. She will permanently feel loved, and the need is forever met. Right here, right now. Ain't gonna happen. There's no magic moment. Now, she takes a step and she wishes to talk about her feelings. And again, husbands do not tick like this. We can't identify, right? In fact, when somebody talks about feelings, it's like we feel challenged. You feel like you're being too critical. You feel like you're on a hot seat, And no. She's only sharing what she's feeling. And then us being men, okay, what's the feelings? Okay, I got it. Okay, this is how you fix it. If you do this, you do that. Okay? And so, wives don't want or need answers. And they're not looking for encouragement. Listen to this. The desire to be heard and for you to understand her feelings is more important than the problem. You'll find out why later. Okay, people are drifting right now. Like, okay, come back. Everybody come back. I'm up here, back up here. Okay. The desire to be heard and understand her feelings is more important than the problem itself. I'm trying to tell you something and you're acting like you don't even care. I do care. That's why I'm trying to help. She doesn't want help. She doesn't want solutions. She's not sharing because she needs the help. In fact, she's actually capable of just solving the problem herself. And your solution would not solve the problem. It might not. What she wants is for you to understand how she feels about the problem. Okay, we're getting closer, husbands, but you're still not getting it, okay? It's going to take you till the end. She wants you to understand how she feels about the problem. We're like, why the heck do I need to know how she feels about the problem? Right? Well, listen. Because while she's talking, sharing her feelings, you're problem solving. As you're listening, distracting from listening and just being supportive. She knows that. You're not listening to me. I am listening to you. Well, we'll get to that in a minute. Well, actually, right now. You never listen to me, right? Well, we as husbands think we listen really well. All of us do. I am a good listener. I heard everything she's saying, therefore I'm listening. Right? Unknowingly, the entire time you're filtering out the message, saying, it doesn't feel like you're listening. She's saying, it doesn't feel like you're listening, therefore you're not concerned about my feelings. You just need to solve the problem. You're not concerned about my feelings. Because remember, feelings are most important to a woman. Feelings. That's what she's looking for you to understand her feelings. Yeah, he just jumps right in before I'm finished, and that's proof. That's proof he's not listening. Gosh, it makes him feel so devalued that you're not interested in their most important thing, feelings. To a woman, it's most important how they feel. And you're not interested in that as a husband. You just want to solve the problem. I got it. You just, if you want to blow all your brownie points away, just throw this out. Well, quit feeling that way. She wants you to focus on the feelings, not the problem. But you shouldn't feel that way. You just blew them all apart. And she's probably going to spit in your eggs. She realizes that her thoughts and feelings, they don't matter to you. And when you think, well, it's just a feeling, it doesn't matter whether you're right or wrong. The fact is, she feels that way. That's the fact. She feels that way. And she's trying to communicate that. But husbands don't want to hear it. To listen to your wife, just to listen, it tells the woman, that wife, louder than anything else, that she's known, that you really care about her, and that she's loved. To do nothing but just listen. Smart listening has more power than doing all the things you do best. It has more power, just smart listening. But to ignore the problem, not listen to what her feelings are, you have to hear what she's feeling, not what she's saying. Look for how she's feeling. Share in that feeling. Wow, I can tell you're really disappointed that you didn't get that job. Or the frustration. It tells her, you know what this tells her? That she has your full attention, no other distractions, and that you're tracking her. You're tracking her. Full attention on her, not just what she's saying in the problem, on her. How are you doing, honey? You. And that's what they desperately need. So men are like, all those emotions, they clog up clear thinking, and you can't address the problem properly. No, it's actually the opposite. That's where you can begin to clearly see what the problem is. One man took his wife, she's trying to talk to him, and the kids were running around. He says, honey, come here. She put the kids in their bedroom, come here, and he went out and he sat down on the couch and he said, sit down. And then he simply said, so tell me again, what's on your mind? What's bothering you? And that wife, years later, is talking about that moment. Years later, it was such an impact. All he did was give her his full attention. What's bothering you? Boy, that was, you could have taken it out to a $200 dinner, and it wouldn't have done that. No kidding. Just to have your full attention, want to know how she's doing. You know some magic words? I can see how you would feel that way. Even in regards to yourself. You know? Yeah, but I feel you do this, and this, and this. Don't defend yourself. Don't rise up emotionally. Just, I could see how you could catch that. I understand how you feel. Leave it there. Come back to it later. So this is not so much a sermon as much just a bunch of stuff packed in my shotgun. Reassure and reassure and reassure. In the face of her insecurity, reassure her. They need to know you're okay. They just need to know that we're okay. Even if you have a knockdown, drag out, blowout. I don't mean knockdown. You know what I'm saying. I say you have a battle. And well, you know what? I say, honey, I'm really angry. I need some time, but before I walk around the block, I want you to know we're okay. We're okay. Kind of eliminates all that insecurity right off the bat. Yeah. When she's upset, she doesn't need space. Get over it. Oh my gosh. I heard one husband tell his wife, quit belly aching. You know, they say that cancer comes from hate. And that woman died of cancer. If he would do that publicly, what would he do behind closed doors? So she doesn't need space. What she needs is a hug. You want me to hug a porcupine? Yes. Move towards her. Whatever you do, it's really here. Whatever you do, don't move away from her. Don't pull back. Don't draw back. She needs a hug. Even if she seems like she's rejecting you, she really wants a sincere hug. Sincere hug. Not a get out of trouble hug. A sincere hug for her sake. For her sake. And these are the things that make the difference. Will she feel loved or secure or not loved and secure? Do not, I repeat, do not go away. When it seems like you're being pushed away, that's the time to move in and reassure her. That tells her, and she needs to know it, you're going to love me no matter what. Even if it's just a simple, I really want to know what's wrong. And then listen. But never, ever, ever give up the chase. Pursuing, it doesn't just go away when you go dating. But a woman always wants her husband to keep coming after them. Like they're worth something. Like they're still a prize. Put your arm around her. Show her that you're thinking about her. Simple text. I was just thinking about what a great mom you are. Compliment her. Take her hand. You have to keep pursuing. You know, women, something about them. You know, well, let me say it this way. I had Kaylin's phone the other day, and I remember when it was before, and so I'm trying to get to, I opened up something, and so I'm trying to get to it, and it's like, what the heck? I'm throwing stuff out, get rid of it. Kaylin, what the heck? And I cleared everything. But that isn't just her phone. That's women's brains. They have all these windows open. And the thing is, they can't close them like men do. They can't close them. They have all these things they're thinking about. And they can't close them like us men can do. It's like uninvited thoughts, pop-ups, worries and feelings and past, present, and even future. And they can't ignore and close them out, these unwanted thoughts. They're like intruders. And they're there until they're resolved. Let me get an example. Husband, wife, they're kind of eating and the kids are playing. And finally the wife says, where did you put the fire starter, And he's, oh, it's in the room with the, where the kids are. And she's like, you put it in there with the kids? And yeah, I'll go check on them. And just give me 5 minutes, I'll go check on them. So he keeps eating, and 5 minutes, he completely shuts it down. Looks at his watch. Completely shuts it down. Doesn't think about it. Women can't do that. It's impossible for them to just turn it off. Don't think about it. Impossible. They can minimize it, but they're amazed at us at how can you just not think about it? So what happens, finally, it's just impossible. And the wife gets up, goes, finds the fire starter, comes back, puts it in the kitchen somewhere, and out of reach of the kids, and then she can enjoy her dinner. She can't. Impossible. She can't turn it off. Oh, just 5 minutes. No, she can't turn it off. It's still rolling. It's impossible to close that window. So wives carry around lots and lots of things in their head. So you have to remind yourself, she can't stop thinking about it. She can't until it's somewhat resolved. Let's talk about the confusing and unreasonable behavior. I've used this before, so Kathy told me, she said, don't you talk about us. But I said this before, so I can say it again. So we're having, Kaylin and Kathy and I were having a nice dinner, and so all of a sudden I simply, because, this is before I knew I had diabetes, but I took, she gave me this great soup. But I took one potato, put it in Ken's bowl, and Kathy, you remember, that's it. I'm never going to cook again. And I went out, I remember, she said, all I knew is she blew a fuse. It's like, looking at Kaylin, I just gave you a potato. What's the thing? But, there was a signal there that I was being a potato head for quite some time. And so those confusing, unreasonable behaviors, they're signals. And then, of course, you're confused. It's, well, I did this before and made her perfectly happy. I'm doing it now, and she's ticked. She's mad. There's no rhyme or reason. Better just to leave her alone. Never leave her alone. Ever. Ever. It doesn't work with your computer. You know what? Yesterday I hit this Q and it came up Q. Yeah. But today, X? What the heck? Just ignore it. Let it get over it. You wouldn't do that. You try to fix it because you know it's fixable. You probably reboot this and that. You try to figure what's wrong. Do a search on Google, whatever. And no, it can be fixed. The same is true for wives. They can be fixed. When you see her being off the charts, that's a little overreaction. There's a reason. Mark it down. And don't accept that I'm fine. No, you can't drop it there. Not just yet. If she seems like she's subconsciously pulling back, she's desperately hoping that you'll pursue her. It's not a game. It's not manipulation. It's simply a plea for assurance. And you're proving you want to help her. You're proving that you want her. And, I think I hurt your feelings, honey. Can you help me to understand what I did? So just assume, husband, if you think it's radical or there's probably a legitimate reason behind her actions. Slams your coffee cup down and coffee goes everywhere and walks away. Probably something behind those actions. You need to be brave enough to step up and meet the need. She's not some unreasonable alien that can't be figured out. Did you ever wonder, why don't they just say they're insecure? Why don't they just say it? Because you've trained them to not. When they've tried in the past, you get defensive, you get angry, you get loud. You've trained them to not. See, they have to be sure, listen to me as we're closing, they have to be sure you want the answer, you really want the answer, or to hear them before they speak. And once they see you're not, I know where this is going. Let's zip it up. So, I'm here to tell you to embrace the struggles, to make it better. You can have a good marriage. Not just get along marriage, a good marriage you can have. But the success is a shared life on a daily basis. How many of you kids remember growing up and you remember all the things you didn't have or lacked? I don't remember anything. Peanut butter and jelly again for breakfast, lunch, and dinner? Okay. I don't remember anything I lacked, but what I do remember is all the things that we had done together. That's what I remember. I don't remember the hardships. I don't even remember them. What I didn't have, I don't even know. But the things we did together so stuck. You know, the other day I was with Frank and Kimberly, and it was I had meetings somewhere, so I'm there for the day. So what I did is I walked with the girls to a little pool area back behind their house, a little pond, and then we went home. They wanted to go again, and let's go again. We walked around, and then after that I said, I'm just going to go for a walk, and I'm going to take, Claire, you want to come with me? And I had her on her bike, and she couldn't ride very well, so I'm pushing on her bike, and it's quite a ways, probably a mile and a half or something, and so she gets home, and she told, and to this day, that was the best day of my life ever. Wasn't Disneyland. No, she insists that was the best day of my life ever, just being together. And security, by the way, isn't about what you earn. It's about who you are, how you love her. So much more counts than financial security. You can have a good marriage. Love your wife. The Bible says you love yourself. Honor her. Honor her. Cultivate an inner beauty. Treat her as an equal, because God sees her as an equal. Yes, you're in charge, but you're still equal. You're in charge of your kids, but your kids are as equal as you in the eyes of God and the world. Treat her as equal. Praise God. We'll draw the line there. Father, we ask you to help us tonight.